I'm Michael Clark, and you're watching Meet the Farmer TV. Coming up next on Meet the Farmer TV. You're watching Meet the Farmer TV from Floyd Fest 2009.
Welcome to Floyd Fest.
Thank you.
Definitely. First year here?
Yes, it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you guys are going to have a blast.
We're here the night before at the festival site, and we're going to check out people coming in. They're setting up their camping sites. We'll check out the vendors. We'll look at the sound stages. Let's see all the last-minute preparations the night before Floyd Fest 2009. This program is a production of Meet the Farmer TV, LLC, in association with Planet Earth Diversified, Melli Productions, and Leslie P. Jenkins Photography and Graphic Design. Well, here we are, the day before Floyd Fest. Let's talk to the Fried founders, Chris and Erica. They've been working tirelessly for months now, and I think they've slept twice in the last 2 weeks. But how's it going?
It's going phenomenally well. I'm blown away by the site this year. It looks beautiful. I think we're set up earlier than ever before. We have a core staff that has just gone beyond the Call of Duty, and it's just been a phenomenal setup so far.
That said, don't mistake our quiet demeanor for calm.
Yeah.
It's exhaustion.
Uh-huh.
And there are inevitably innumerable details, which all really have to fall into place the day before.
Right.
So we're troubleshooting and detailing, but if you're detailing the day before, you're in good shape.
So there's no major disasters. We had a little bit of rain, but no major floods or hurricanes coming.
No, the rain was great actually. It settled the dust, and unfortunately the dust is back up again. The flowers liked it. I was kind of happy to have the rain we did have the other day, and it's been incredible weather so far. Past 2 days for setup, you couldn't have asked for better weather.
We have a very full site this year. We have a lot of vendors, more musicians than ever, more attendees than ever, so it's just feeling like a more kind of year, which is good. That's exactly what you want. But more everything does mean more details and a little more stress, but also
I need some
more experience.
More reviving is what I need. Yeah.
We're happy to have the Joyful Cup on site for a coffee fix in the midst of things. And
I think what the most draining thing is for me personally is going into this thing and not looking at it as just another day, another dollar, just a job. What drains me, I think, it just takes a spark, you know, and if I can get into a deep meditation even 2 weeks going into this thing, I truly believe, I'm that crazy as a promoter, that I have to bring this certain spark of love to this entire operation. And if I know if I can just bring that one little piece, it inspires my staff, it inspires the situation, and that's what drains me the most. I actually care that deeply about the quality and the details that go into every aspect of this thing. And I do use this as a meditation, you know, a Zen focus on making sure that this thing is as quality, as safe, as entertaining as possible.
yeah, it is for me also very both important and difficult to remember, because we take all year to plan for these 4 days and to try to have the infrastructure and the details in place for a really above and beyond festival and musical and just environmental experience. But to throughout that take time to, you know, the proverbial smell the roses, to stop and greet the folks we haven't seen in a long time, you know, returning attendees and vendors, and just step back and look at the big picture, you know, instead of just running around crazily with a radio glued to your ear, you know.
Yeah.
One crisis to the next.
Yeah.
It would just, I think it would be just almost shallow for me if that's all it was, you know. I can't. We do other events, but this Floyd Fest in particular
Hold on.
is geared to, you know, not only celebrate, you know, the music, but each other, and this annual remembrance on what it is to be a loving, compassionate, you know, good neighbor. And that's so important, man. And that's what this thing is, you know.
It can be hard to steward a revival when
Right.
you're exhausted.
When you're
but
exhausted.
That's what we're trying to do.
But
Now
yeah.
you have a green team and a lot of special efforts for making this not only family friendly and a great time, but eco-friendly as well.
Yeah, we've always, you know, look, the site we're at, I went up 120 feet yesterday on the man lift that we have on site here. And I had never seen the view from that high up. Where we are, this environment is so naturally clean, so naturally beautiful, so naturally green. That's already behind us. Then we pull in these folks, and they are making sure that every aluminum can, every glass, not supposed to be glass here, but the glass that is here, it makes its way in inevitably, gets properly recycled. The cardboard, the compost, we're doing compost demonstrations. We have Rock the Earth coming, doing panel discussions with a multitude of artists about social awareness with music and, being eco-conscious, excuse me, and just, respecting the earth. What better place to do it than right here, in this naturally beautiful setting.
Well, let's let you two get back to work. It looks like the radios are buzzing and everybody needs you right now. And we'll go take a look at some of these behind the scenes efforts on making Floyd Fest green. And this is Floyd Fest 7?
Floyd Fest 8.
Floyd Fest 8, okay. The
Survivor.
The Survivor.
We're going to call this Floyd Fest Survival, I think, is the term.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks so
much.
much.
We really appreciate your efforts.
All right, man.
And we'll check in with you throughout the weekend and see how you're surviving. But right now, let's take off and let's go around and see some of these special efforts that are made here on behalf of being green and eco-friendly and making Floyd Fest a very special event here in Central Virginia.
Well, Erica, tell us the story of how you got this man to let you have the festival here.
Well, we just promised him free man lift rides and assorted other things he'd never experienced. Actually, Tom's just a good soul with an open mind.
Become quite the music aficionado.
Yeah.
If Erica had wanted to wager on whether we were going to do this or not, I think I
You'd have
probably
taken
would have
that
bet against her,
You'd have taken that. You'd have taken that.
Yeah, I'm sure would have.
It took us by surprise. We were just wide-eyed and hopeful. And we did have a business plan. I think that helped, didn't it, Tom?
Well, it probably did. You were kind of persuasive.
And he was willing to take a leap of faith. I think you had a vision for this place, didn't you?
Well, I had faith in that you had a vision.
And now we're looking at it.
In my wildest dream, I would never expected this, I can tell you that.
I'm Michael Clark for Meet the Farmer TV, and today we're in Floyd County, Virginia with Chris and Erica, the founders of Floyd Fest. We're going to find out about sustainable harvest of timber right here in the forest, and we're going to see the construction of a special timber frame structure that will be the front of the house to house some audio equipment and another kiosk for information. So Chris, Erica, tell us about there's several festivals, or there's Floyd Fandango, there's Floyd Fest, and on Earth Day you're going to actually raise this structure.
Yep, Earth Day is the next thing coming up, and what you see behind us will turn into a front of house structure
Solid and
that
beautiful.
will mimic the beautiful construction and design of our existing streamlined stage at the Floyd Fest site. Then in July 4th weekend is our first event up there off the Parkway. That's the Floyd Fandango Beer and Wine Festival.
And that's microbreweries from the
Yes.
area?
Yep,
Yes.
local and beyond, regional wineries, a great roster of beer and wine, and some awesome music.
Incredible music, J.J. Gray and Mofro and Buckwheat Zydeco's 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Plus camping, just general fun.
Wow.
And then at the end of July, the 23rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, we have our 8th annual Floyd Fest.
My
Floyd Fest
goodness.
Revival, so that's a good time to celebrate and pick it up.
Yeah.
Right.
80 plus bands and artisans and eco-friendly demonstrations and food and more.
So tell us, you guys been doing Floyd Fest since like the turn of the century or something?
Back in 1843.
Yeah, feels like it, but no, 2002.
So how did it get started?
Whew, let's see, it was kind of a long time in the making, with Chris being a musician and having lived up in Floyd on a musical community.
Yeah, I think from the whole Grateful Dead phenomenon of bringing people together as a community and focusing on a positive thing, whether it be social change or just living in different lifestyles, that idea came about from me playing music and seeing the power of that. Music seems to be the best focal point for people to come together. Coming to Floyd back in 1992 is when I came here. I met the musical community, the arts, and the farmers and everyone up here, and I said, this is the place to throw a festival. A positive, community-based, authentic gathering. So that's what kind of spawned the idea. And then I met my exceptional business partner here, and
I was looking for nemesis, but that
yes,
work?
Yeah,
she and I opened up Oddfellows Cantina in town, which brought together a lot of the local food, a lot of the local ideas, the crossover between the alternative folks and the local folks through the music and the food and everything. And that was kind of the springboard, the foundation to really see that we could take something that had entertaining value and take it larger.
That was kind of a proving ground.
Yeah.
And this was 2002?
2001.
2001.
We had
2001
Oddfellows.
Oddfellows?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was a real spark for us, I think. It was a real proving ground for the whole thing. We had big shows in a small space, and we felt even more than we saw the potential for something bigger and for our idea of a festival to take shape. So even while we had the restaurant there, we were looking around, sniffing around for the appropriate venue, and just a lot of serendipitous things happened and culminated with our driving the parkway and finding this perfect place and contacting the landowner, and he was amenable, and we put together a business plan, and he went for it. And that first year, even though the first year we had horrendous weather, a hurricane literally, but we saw the potential. We're like, okay, well, it's going to be a little harder than we thought,
Yeah.
but it's going to
the
happen.
old Robert Hunter saying, without loving the dream, it'll never come true. I think that really just propelled our belief in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Whether it was dark or light outside, we forged ahead.
Yeah,
That's great.
we saw that the community was behind
Yeah.
us. We had the energy. The place was going to work. People would come. We just had to have the stick-to-itiveness.
And I think, the event today, speaks to that, how strong the community in Floyd is. A lot of events are thrown in towns where the community really isn't there. It's just promoters coming into town and whipping something up. Whereas Floyd, really supports authenticity, really supports people who believe in what they're doing, and especially if it's positive and involves the community. And Streamline is a perfect example of that. And we're just tickled to death to have so much beautiful architecture at the festival and community support.
Yeah.
It really adds to the overall experience.
The
Now,
whole-
this is still at the same location?
Yep,
So this is 7 years now. This will be the 7th?
the 8th.
This will actually be the 8th year coming on. Floyd Fest 8 Revival. We pick a different theme every year that kind of tries to, go along with national, international trends on the way people are feeling. And luckily we picked Revival this year, and I think with our whole political climate and everything else, it's time for a revival.
That's great. Now, is it the same landowner on the?
Same landowner, and he's really become very vested in the whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, we talk to him throughout the year, and you'll find him at the backstage party. He's in his 70s, and he's a conservative fellow who does own property up here, but he's a real estate guy from North Carolina. So that kind of
So they're
speaks
just
to...
cows running around the stage all year, and then you
No, there used to be no more. It's become more
Those
of
are
a year.
during the event. The
Yeah.
cows isn't around. And I'm probably one of them. But,
Yeah.
no, he's great. He's the old school business mentality. His word is what means. A handshake is what means, and that's the perfect kind of.
But he's a great example of how just a lot of diverse folks, there's a lot of diversity at Floyd Fest, but there's a commonality that transcends all that with everyone who comes, with everyone that participates, everyone we're involved with. And it's just been a really organic effort. Here we find ourselves on this foggy day at Streamline headquarters with Healing Harvest and the horses and people that have come from a variety of places to come, to this birthing of the front of house structure. It's really neat. It's opened up a lot of different avenues and opportunities for a lot of folks involved.
So this is really a community effort also in putting these buildings up there. A lot of
Oh, yeah.
volunteers and a lot of people donating effort and time.
Yeah, having
and he's
stream-
allowing you to build this on his property. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a pretty big commitment to let physical structures be built on your property just for
Yeah.
that. And that's a real community thing you don't see often.
No,
For
it's
that many
not.
people to work together without strict business contracts and
Yeah.
relationships.
There's a lot of trust involved and throughout that, just the theme of trust and belief and the whole organic happening of things is woven throughout Floyd Fest on a lot of different levels, for sure.
So it must be a phenomenal effort for both of you putting on Floyd Fest. Do you do anything else
Are you just always Floyd Fest, or are you on vacation for 9 months and then Floyd Fest for 3 months?
No vacation. For 3 years, we lived it and breathed it and had everything into it. I mean, it really took us over. And then we were kind of able to take a deep breath and kind of reorganize a little and do some other events. You know, we added another 4th of July event up there, a beer and wine event that's taken off. And we
Local microbrews and wineries.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we've branched out, and we now do 4 to 5 events a year that we are, into, we believe in. We have opportunities, but we turn them down. We don't want to do more than that.
So you're very selective
Yeah.
about the sustainability of the events that you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you have a production company now, Across the Way Production?
That's who we are, and we have a nonprofit arm, Blue Cow Arts.
Okay.
And we have a team of people, like when we do a couple out-of-town events, we take 80 to 90 folks from Floyd with us.
Wow.
Who
So this is a real important thing for the economy of Floyd County.
for a one stoplight town it is.
Right. And
Up in 7 digits for sure.
Yeah, and we've been talking to the contractors here, and they're all like, hey, when I'm broke and don't have a job, he hires me, and when I get a job, I hire him.
Right.
And some of their customers are even kind of encouraging, I'd really like you to get all the materials and labor from the county. So this is a real model for the whole country now, that you don't have to have a big government bailout. The people sitting around the kitchen table are going to they can't lay them, you guys can't fire yourselves. You have to keep going. You
That's
have to
exactly
find some way
right.
to do it.
You develop a quality product and an idea, and you work your tail off, and that's how you do
Yeah.
it.
And we're all tied into each other. We live in yurts, and my mom owns a yurt company, and she sets her yurts up at the
We were
festival.
hoping to meet her. Did she make it in?
She didn't make it, but when you come back and come
Okay.
visit our yurts.
Yeah.
So she ends up selling several yurts a year to Floyd Fest attendees who go in one there, and yeah.
Now, tell me more about Floyd Fest. You've got local artisans and you've got some musicians, but you also have like vending and I remember like a solar smoothie company or something. There are all sorts of really cool things I remember a couple of years ago, several people said they were just so impressed that you actually had clean porta-johns.
Yeah.
It wasn't a nasty event, even though it was outside and somewhat rainy. But the porta-johns were serviced, the generators were all whisper quiet, and everything seemed like it. So this is all what you have done.
Well, we're determined to come out strong in April, with Earth Day and everything, as Floyd Fest, naturally clean, naturally green. Well, it really helps that it's on non-commercial property. The whole Blue Ridge Parkway is just pristinely beautiful. And we have 80 acres up there, which over the course of the years, we have 7 stages. And are all those permanent?
They are all permanent, yes.
Pretty much, 2 of them being huge, big timber frame structures.
One is not permanent, the dance tent stage.
Okay. But the others are, we have an Appalachian-style workshop porch and a global village area where this year we have things like, and within the small Floyd community, we have folks who do primitive tool making and are doing workshops on that, and composting and, sustainability efforts generally, and they'll be down there. And also we have Eustace Conway, the guy with Turtle Island Preserve from North Carolina. He's coming up. So we're going to have a really neat community down there this year, just kind of the same thing you're doing, but during the festival, talking about how, hey, this is what we're doing, this is what works, let us teach you, let us show you. And then we, of course, have a huge roster of musicians. Even in the economy, we are determined to give folks extra value. So we put extra resources into the lineup this year, and we have a great musical roster of, headlining artists, regional artists, and this Under the Radar series that we do that showcases a lot of the best up-and-comers. That's something we've kind of become known for.
Right.
And we do healing arts workshops. You can get up in the morning and do yoga with, 50 other like-minded people. The children's area, we give prime real estate to kids and have really engaging things going on in there for them.
And so this really is a family event.
Absolutely. And last year that was our theme, family affair, and that just took off. And we,
So it's not just like a wild party recreation of Woodstock or
Not
something. This
at
is really
all. really.
So you've
Not at all.
got you've got RV areas and camping and off-site camping. I guess you're expanding now. It's so popular you're having to have some camping off-site.
Yep, those people that don't want to be separated from their cars, we've created a really nice area just a mile away. They can camp with their cars and shuttle in. You know, we have VIP opportunities if you're backstage or sitting on the stage and eating with the artists and having gourmet organic meals back there and local microbrews.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do people find out about it? At floydfest.com? Is that the best place to go?
Yeah, that's the most comprehensive source of information for sure, though what we've really found is word of mouth is where our advertising is.
Yeah, we were talking to some people in Richmond the other day and go, oh yeah, we've got an RV and we go down with our kids every year. We can't wait. So
Yeah.
it's really great that Floyd Fest has expanded to where it's recognized outside of the community.
Yeah, we're very proud of that.
That's great. So is there anything else we missed or we need to add or?
No, the market of festivals is huge. What people are looking for not only entertainment, but an experience. And I think that's been our plus. And what we offer people is an authentic experience. It's not just a concert. It's an experience in community relations. It's an experience on how your actions affect those around you, the environment. And I just don't want to, exploit the environmental issues. That's very important. And I think what we've done is just try to give an authentic, positive experience.
Well, you guys are really living it. You're not just
Yeah.
buying some recycled cups and say we're green.
That's
We live
right.
it. This is this. And when you asked about, do we get a vacation? I think 2 weeks a year. We
Yeah.
pour our hearts in every.
And that's during the
resource.
festival, right?
That almost feels like a vacation for us.
I'm
We're
actually
getting there.
just now starting to be able to enjoy Saturday night. I'm like, wow, this is a heck of a party we
Right,
got going on.
Yeah.
So it is a party, but it's extremely positive, safe, and these are the things that have really given us the success.
Yeah, that was a very impressive thing for us too. Is like there are really no serious security issues.
Wow.
Everybody is very calm
Polices themselves, and that's kind of the
and
people we
security
come
is
up to.
more like helping them find something
Exactly.
that's lost.
Use your best judgment. Come, please pack out what you pack in.
No trace, right?
Yeah. Field
Now,
strike your
how
cigarettes.
does the county and the local government, how do they interact with you?
Oh, it's a wonderful relationship.
It really
Yeah.
is. We're in a little bit of a no man's land out there in the Parkway. That's federal property, so we deal with, federal officials, state troopers, and police from 2 counties, and it's really been to date very harmonious. It took a few years to ease them into the idea, but once folks get out there and recognize it for what it is, they're on board with it.
What's amazing is right now as the economy changes, and sort of, I know for 30 years I've been watching this stuff, and my bankers are saying, sell the farm, give us the money, we'll put it in a fund, and we'll give you a higher income than you're making owning a business. But it was all these Madoff funds. It was fake stuff. It wasn't real. And so, I've been just wondering, how does it happen? And now the smoke and the curtain's gone, and it wasn't happening.
Exactly.
Straight up.
And it's only the people, like you guys,
Yeah.
that were really doing it.
Right. Even
And
without
really
corporate
making-
support too.
Right.
These city events, the funding is drying up because they relied on these corporations. We just didn't smell right. Man. We just wanted to do it the
Yeah.
old-fashioned way.
Rely on
So where
ticket sales.
do you really get the financing to do this? Just from ticket sale?
Well, in the early years, we sold the business to put it into this. We sold our cars, we sold our house, we sold everything, like every small business owner who's in it for the long haul probably does.
Financed by Visa, MasterCard, and American Express.
and we still had some rough times, so we borrowed from family, and then eventually you kind of get over that hump and it becomes more sustainable. But we've made smart choices after making some not so smart choices, but along the way, we live in yurts, so we don't have a mortgage, so we don't have to stress that,
Yeah.
all those little things you can choose to do to reduce your economic stress on that level.
Dependency, too.
Independency, yeah, for sure.
So you're really living the lifestyle the entire year so
Yeah.
that you can have this festival and
Well,
people
we
can
absolutely
experience
are.
that.
We
for
drag
a
our
few
kids
days.
around the music
It's a
festivals and up to the site, and they've been on the road with us in a wide array of bizarre situations.
Wow. Well, now this is a really special event. for a number of reasons, but mainly what we're interested in here is how the whole community has come together. And you all have been living for years sustainably, and we're going to see with a healing harvest with the trees coming out of the woods and
Draft horses. Yeah.
and was it Streamline the timber works. So the whole community, it's not just that you've got an event on a piece of land somewhere. This entire community is living this all year long, and you've just got a few festivals to celebrate that.
Absolutely. Well, having named our events after the town, there was some kind of pressure to have the two get along. But it's been a real natural marriage of the town, the community, because we are a small and intimately connected community. And the event, the Floyd Fandango and Floyd Fest, that showcase many aspects of that community. So.
Wow. Well, this is really great. So while the rest of the country is thinking the economy's in the toilet and requiring the federal government to give billions of dollars for bailout, Floyd County's really doing great. And we're going to have some wonderful celebrations, and people are going to work together. It looks like a real success story we should use as a model for the whole country.
Well, you got to keep your head up, man.
That's right. There's a lot to celebrate.
Right.
Yeah. Even in this, there's some really there's a silver lining to this cloud, I think.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you guys had your tough times, 8 years ago, rice and beans.
We sold our CD collection.
I sold
Which
my
was a
instruments,
waste.
my Gibsons, my Gretches. I sold it all.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But doesn't it feel good now that you're like,
Yeah.
it's
I love
happening.
changing
It's
it out,
happening.
man.
Yeah.
Cleaning out.
Now it's really going.
That's right.
That's terrific. Well, can't wait to see you there, and we'll be back Earth Day, and let's see this building go up.
Without loving the dream, it'll never come true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for another Meet the Farmer TV. At Meet the Farmer TV, we see producers, farmers, and small family businesses as the solution to our current economic and environmental woes. We want to bring to light the stories of individuals like yourself who work tirelessly with a personal passion for excellence and innovation. These are the stories of individuals creating sustainability within their own community. Through our TV shows, our website, and with your support, we endeavor to build a network of collaborators to share information and to educate. By getting mud on our boots visiting farms, by giving a voice to the many kitchen table entrepreneurs and their innovations, by standing in the heat of the kitchen with the chefs, and by exploring the challenges facing all small food-based businesses, we intend to reveal a view of community food systems that will nourish all of us and our planet. Entire systems we thought were rock solid are being bailed out. Large companies are laying off or closing. Investments have mysteriously vanished. So today, many of us want something different and feel something needs to change. Whether you're a farmer toiling in the field, a chef insisting on quality local produce, a baker cooking for market in your home kitchen, or you're a consumer making informed choices and supporting your neighbors, you are all the true heroes who will make change happen. So we invite you to share your story or just watch our show and be entertained, informed, and inspired. This program is a production of Meet the Farmer TV, LLC, in association with Planet Earth Diversified, Melli Productions, and Leslie P. Jenkins Photography and Graphic Design. For additional information and extended versions of this program, visit our website, www.meetthefarmer.com.